going to call to order the town meeting for March the 4th. We could rise for the invocation. Stand for the pledge.
We kind of had to follow Lord, and praise you and thank you. Just have a new prayer, Lord. And Lord, I remember one time a Supreme Court, Lord, we came into the country, Lord, but there's no court that can say that we can't have prayer because all we got to do is bow our heads. Lord, we thank you for people in this community, Lord, that have put their heart and soul into having things for the betterment of the community. Not just Brother David Lansbury, but many, 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 many people, Lord. He's just one of them, Lord, just that we mentioned in name. Lord, we pray that the new project getting ready to come up, Lord, will be a place of refuge, not just for older people to have a place to go, Lord, but for our youth. Lord, we pray for our youth, Lord, and just be there, give them a hedge of protection, Lord, because Satan wants to throw so many bad darts at them. Lord, be with each and every one of us, Lord, and guide us in everything that we do. Lord, we certainly pray for our military, Lord, young men and women. Lord, please put a hedge of protection, Lord. All the things going on in this world, Lord, we pray for those people right now. Lord, we pray for each and every one of our employees, Lord. Please keep them safe, Lord, and may we be able to make enough, Lord, to give them enough money to make a living, Lord. And Lord, we just praise you and honor you in everything we do, Lord. And again, we just pray that you guide us in everything that we do. For we ask these things in Jesus' precious name. And for his sake, amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the wet weather March. Hopefully it's not like the 62 storm. Not here.
Thinking about that.
March.
Have mercy.
Yeah, not good. Hopefully the weather forecasting has gotten better since then.
I think Brenda out there remembers it because her... Brenda?
I remember it, but
Seen all that water around. That wasn't fun.
Nope. Hopefully we won't see it again.
I hope not.
Next, our first thing on the agenda is public comment, and Mr. Landsberger, you're it.
I just figured I'd come by and update you on what's going on. Because after 4.5 years of struggling with various governmental agencies, they finally allowed us to start. What you have before you is the plans for the building and the site plan showing how the parking is going to be, and the interior. So there'll be a full-size gymnasium. It's a 10,000 square foot building. It'll have a full-size basketball court in it with a walking track around it for bad weather, or to put up seats if you want to watch the basketball game. There will be 2 activity rooms which can be used for meetings, exercise classes. I posted it on Facebook, and the ideas of people of wanting to use it for all sorts of things. So, very importantly, we have been unable to do a after-school care, daycare, or summer camp at this Y because we didn't meet code for camp anymore. Now we do, once this is built. So we'll be able to reinvigorate all of those programs because we used to have them here. But the summer camp got stopped. Well, COVID stopped everything, but now we'll meet the code. And there'll be 3 large bathrooms, a man and a woman, and then it'll be a family / individual, but each one of those will have a shower, so there'll be 4 showers in addition. So, and there's a shower over in the Y, so now there's actually 5 showers there. Programmatically, this will open up a lot of things. So the gym will be used for pickleball, for volleyball, for badminton, for basketball, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right now we're in the middle of site work. I don't know if any of you have gone over there. It's a challenge. because we have to meet the floodplain. So if you see those sticks and you see the yellow markers on the stick, that's where the floor is going to be of the gym. So in some areas, after we've stripped it out, we were putting in over 4 feet of fill. So there's a lot of dirt going in there, and we're kind of trying to put 10 pounds of flour into a 5-pound sack because it's a very restricted site. But as you can see from the plan, we've used every inch of it. There's land behind us and land to the side of us that we couldn't get for various reasons, but maybe in the future we'll be able to get it and incorporate it because we will need more parking eventually at some point. We hope to have the site work finished, if it would ever stop raining, within the next 3 to 4 weeks. We hope to start erecting the building in 6 weeks, to be optimistic. I'm looking for it to be done hopefully in the fall sometime, to be realistic, late fall. If it's done earlier, that's fine. And if you have any questions, I'm here. You can ask me now or get in touch with me, but I figured you ought to know what's going on. It's going to be a fairly major... Right now, it's hard to see because it's all flat, but once there's this big, huge metal building there, you're going to see it. So,
Any questions for Mr. Lansberger? Yeah, thank you, because it's a major undertaking.
it has been. It has been. The floodplain does not make it easier, and
But I know up part of the way we were doing
it's going to be 2 feet higher than the current gym.
right. Yeah.
Than the current Y, yeah. And it will be disconnected from the Y by about 3 or 4 feet, because if I connected them, then I would have had to raise the Y, which ain't going to happen.
No.
So, yeah, it's been an interesting project. Anyway, thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next up is Joe Tar, our supervisor for District 1. Here with the good news.
It was such good news. I printed out copies for everybody, so if you get bored read about the county's budget this year, it's the 9th one that I've been a part of, and this is the first year that one of the supervisors asked Mike Mason if he would give us a little brief. So if we're asked what we just approved, because it is pretty complex, we have some high points. That was one of the new supervisors, actually, Jeff Parks, who asked that. The one who took over for Muley. So what I'm here to tell you is that when you get that tax bill, I think it was the second week of May, maybe, or something like that, or first week of May, you get the tax bill. It's 24%. Your assessments went up 24.3%. The only town that beat us was Parksley, and I don't know how they beat us by, 4/10 of a point?
29.
It's 24.3.
That's the county average.
Right, yeah, that's, we're 29.3, right? And Parksley's
29, and I think the total average was 20.
Yeah. So what we did, the supervisors, is we reduced the tax rate, your real estate taxes by 1, and to kind of offset this increase in the county taxes. The no change in personal properties. That little brown on my this bottom left is very important that you understand that, because when you get the post, probably going to look at this big tax rate that was approved. We never put any taxes up. We actually reduced them to offset this. The school got an increase this year of $1.1 million, and that's the school is about 41% of our general operating budget. Of this $83.7 million, the school gets 23.1. And if they need anything else, we're usually there to help them out too. But I'm not even going to attempt to go over this whole book with you. But what I like what Mike does on the third page there, he takes the dollar bill and he cuts it up, and shows you where your money goes, your tax money goes. And if you come across any questions or anything, that you want to ask me about it later, I'll certainly try to answer, or I'll certainly find an answer for you, because we're very fortunate to have the county administrator that we have. He was the finance guy for over 27 years. And he has been really without a finance officer his whole time he's been in the office. So the girl that was there for the last 3.5 years walked out like the day before the budget was supposed to go. So he does it, and with all the other things that he does, so we're very fortunate. So that's the budget stuff. I don't have a lot to talk to you about. I got short notice again. I'm used to that, NJ, getting short notice on things. And the time manager said, I want you to speak Monday nights. Okay. This was Thursday? Wednesday?
Wednesday or Thursday last
Yeah.
week. That's better than this afternoon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But what you're going to see, and Mr. Talbert has already been asked to do this, is a letter of support from the town. We've tried for the last 3 years to get Route 175 on the list to be widened. As far as VDOT will go with it is from Tees Corner to Royal Farms. And yes, we can even, to get them to nod, is 3 lanes. But for 3 years that we've been asking, nothing's happened. And you know yourself how dangerous that place is. But what we're trying to get on is the smart scale thing that they have every year. So Mike Mason and a couple other county executives went to a meeting a few months ago to find out how come we're not getting a nod on this. As dangerous and as busy as this 175 is. Let's talk about it, man. We're 27% of this general fund right here. We put in, Chincoteague does. So what he found out was that you're not getting enough letters of support from other entities. So we're going to get the town, we'll get Wallops, we'll get the Navy, we'll get everybody we can think of to get a letter in there. If we can get, for right now, 3 lanes up to Royal Farms, that'll help some. And if we keep on pushing, maybe we can get some pull-offs on this, causeway coming over here. About 6 years ago, the excuse I got that nothing was going to be done with the causeway is because it is still settling. Well, big deal. Big deal. Then don't take our tax money anymore. Let us fix it ourselves. What causeway, you think Tangier's causeway is still settling too? Would you think? So that was a lame excuse, but that's what I got. And we can feel it a little bit in the bridges, but we're going to keep plugging and try to get better roads here. It took us a long time to do it, but we did get some nice bridges, and we're still working. So what else can I tell you? Anything else? All we've been dealing with since January is money, and we've got a public hearing scheduled for March 25th, and all for intents and purposes it will be approved then, and everything will be ready to go. Well, then the tax bills go out in May. So you got any questions? Comments?
Yeah, I don't have a question,
Concerns.
but a comment. When I was reading through the agenda when Mike sent it to us the other day about this, and I know it's been discussed in previous about this. You've been there, Brian's been there, I've been there, Kellen's been there, Tyler's been there. you scrape these people up off the causeway and try to get them to a hospital, or you can't get past the accident, you've got to rely on other ambulances to get there. I'm in support of this, and I'm definitely going to vote for this resolution and the letter of support, but it just tells me once again how unimportant we are to the state, it feels like. And looking at our tax revenue that, we're bringing in and everything, I just feel like that we here have to fight and claw for every single thing. All you got to do is go back, and Brian got us to figures a couple years ago, I think, when we were talking about this. The amount of accidents and tragedies that we have had on that causeway over the years. We deserve better here too. All right, great. It's going to go to Royal Farms. Well, when you get to Royal Farms, you're going to branch out and go to Atlantic, or you're going to go into the base. You're going to keep on coming here, same old thing over and over again. So in our letter of support, I would like for us to, we can discuss this obviously later, but in our, put some things in there like that. We need some help here too. And, we support this, but, enough's enough.
Exactly. If you remember, 3 or 4 years ago, we bought a piece of equipment for the state police
Exactly.
to open our causeway up.
Exactly.
Because once an accident happens, then we got people on this island need to get off the island and go to hospitals.
Yeah.
Ambulances need to go to hospitals. Got people for doctor's appointments
Yeah.
and try to cancel one and get it rescheduled again, a doctor's appointment or anything. So yeah, I'm on it with you, and all I got to do is just look at them, and they know when they start talking about things like this. I don't say a lot. I do a lot of looking, and just if they see me looking that way, they say, "Oh, yep, we know Chincoteague." But you are very easy to represent. Chincoteague is very easy because we take care of things ourselves. Yeah, that's what it is.
I got one.
Billy Joe, hang on.
Yes, sir.
The seed funds for the wastewater in Accomack, is that actually in the budget, that $2.5 million, or is that just one of the items you'd like to get in the budget?
That is actually in it.
That's in the budget
Yeah,
for
that's
fiscal
in
year. Okay.
Yep.
Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, Jim Wayne.
I heard you say, like I said, you can't raise because of assessment, a new assessment, you can't raise taxes no more than 1%. You can't, but you're actually lowering it because of the new rate. It's actually going to be lowered.
Lowered. We've lowered it. Yep.
And the way, and like you said, always the thing you have to look at, that's the first year. The second year. But what I'm saying, being that you're lowering it, you don't sound like you have to have it raised next year.
No,
That's what I'm saying.
Listen, Mike is gloom despair sometimes, but I haven't heard any gloom despair about next year.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Everything
saying.
looks pretty.
I trust it more because you lowered it
Yeah.
instead of just raising it up, that sneaking under the 1%. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That's why everybody likes to just, sneak that 1% under because you're allowed to, and
Right.
but like I say, because the second year I tell everybody's called me up, we're actually going to go up 20-some%. I said, first year you can't go up with 1%.
That's it.
That's law. I said, but that second year is the one you got to look out for.
Yeah,
That's the one you
we've
gotta-
lowered them to a rate, and everything looks good.
But then you're lowering it. I mean,
Next
it makes
year
me
anyway.
feel, it makes me feel
Yeah.
more secure that you're not sneaking the 1% in, and
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thank you for your time.
Well, I got one more
All right, yes, sir.
question. I don't know if it's a question or an observation. I know VDOT likes studies, and it seems like they do the studies on Chincoteague in January or February. They don't come in July 4th and sit at the bridge. Would it be for us to do a survey and turn it in? I don't know if that would
It
get
probably
any
would. The best we could get, Mayor,
foothold.
is a box that'll count cars. That's the best we can get in the summertime. And here's what their thinking is, because we had bingo over there, so the gaming guy come, and he said, "I don't come Pony Pen. I can't find a place to park." I said, "Oh, well, good. I'm so sorry for you."
And
You know?
it almost seems like
I'm tickled death he's not there. Mike.
Yeah, how about it?
it seems like every time we go to Suffolk, we beat our head against the wall, and it's almost time to go away from Suffolk and go to Richmond.
It's true.
Oh.
I I
You know,
think
I don't know what grudge Suffolk has against us, but for some reason they don't like us.
that's where Mike and the other couple guys went, Richmond, find out the answers.
Transportation.
What's wrong? Well, nobody's on board with you on this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody's on board.
Everybody's on board.
Did you-
Tell us how to ask.
Yeah.
You know, what's the big secret?
All right, appreciate it, Billy Joe. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I need a motion to adopt tonight's agenda. So moved.
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you all. All right, staff reports. Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Community Center, Mary Esther continues to do a great job there. Hosted 6 events in February. We had 36 email requests for more information. She booked 3 weddings and a wrestling match for August. It's going to be exciting. We do blood drives every other month. And she's got multiple registrations for the job fair coming up in March, or this month. There are Island Roots, Valentine-themed craft fair there back in February, along with, on February 15th, Chamber held their annual membership meeting, was well attended, as you can see. I think they had David Pierce speak at that. His deputy, okay. Gave everybody some insight, and of course the Fireman's Banquet was held there a few weeks ago, and from all reports I've heard unofficially that everyone really liked it in the center as opposed to having it in the firehouse, so I would expect that event to continue. And it was very well attended. We have a brand new brochure. It looks like 2 places here, but it's a 2-sided card to save a few dollars, but as you can she compacted a lot of information in this space, so it's already been distributed and there for us. The new 911 project for radios. You'll remember that a few years ago, county got a grant to do that, and it is well underway. During planning, the county was able to include 2 new dispatch consoles for the town of Chincoteague, and that will not cost us a dime to get those consoles and have them installed. That will give the town the same console as Accomack and Northampton counties has. The prime contractor is L3 Harris, and this will allow us, of course, to seamlessly interface with the 2 counties. We will be responsible for our share of the co-location of the broadcast antenna, which is going to be on this tower back here. But by the time the annual cost of that is applied, as well as the maintenance costs for the 2 consoles and the software licensing and everything, we stand to save about $4,700 a year over what we're currently paying for dispatch services. As you know, a few years ago we went to an online or in the cloud dispatch service. So we're excited that's coming. Part of this project will be a new equipment building that you'll see out in front of our public works shed. It'll be in the front between the shed and the parking lot there. That won't be long when they'll be starting that work. And from Jeff Flournoy, the 911 supervisor or director of 911, has told me that they will be testing the new system in the fall before all the leaves are gone. That's a protocol in their tests, and hope to be up and operating by this time next year. So very exciting. We're going to come up and comply with everyone else in the neighborhood and actually save some money to boot. So very exciting. Grants. We have several here hanging out, so I thought I'd go through them with you. Water TA, that's Water Technical Assistance. A few months ago I applied for the EPA's Water Technical Assistance Program. It helps smaller communities write applications for federal funding, to receive federal funding, and I intend to do that. It's part of the bipartisan infrastructure law. I intend to do that for both moving our wells as well, and I should say, stop right here, that is not going to fund 100% of that project. NASA is still on the hook, as we've talked about, to fund that project, but this will certainly help. And I also intend to apply for water to aid for assistance to aid with our sewage collection system through this. The University of Maryland, some students from the University of Maryland, I say students, I think they're doctoral students, have been assigned to help us with this, and we're in contact with them. They hope to be coming up with the first part of that work in a few weeks here for me. VPA, Virginia Port Authority, Vernon and I submitted a formal application for the downtown dock again at Robert Reed Park. We turned that in we presented it in the second week of February, and we turned in the application last Friday. We should know in May, I believe, if we've gotten that grant or not. We're hoping that it goes through this time, and if so, this is on the screen here is what the new floating docks will look like at Robert Reed Park. Make it much easier to bring your boat up to the park and make the park much more accessible than the wooden piers that we have there now. This will allow you to dock against the tide, which is preferable. Septic Local Partners Program, as you know, through the DEQ, we applied for a grant and received $750,000 to create a program and install or replace failing septic systems for local residents. And that program either grants 50% or 100% of reimbursement costs for a new system, depending on the applicant's income. So we're very excited about that. We're in the phase right now where we're designing the application, and once that's done, it'll be advertised on the website. We might put an ad in the paper, that sort of thing, and start taking applications. I do have one person who's asked to be on the committee. I'm looking for a few others. Myself and Wes will also be on the committee, and we'll review applications and select applicants for award once we get the program up and going. RSG, that's Ready, Set, Go, that's a program by the Local Assistance Division of VDOT. I applied for that a few months ago. What they do is they do the planning for you to submit a transportation alternative program application for a grant, and the program or the project I selected was for a sidewalk, about a mile's worth of sidewalk between Beebe Road and the harbor on the south end of the island. We all know that we need some pedestrian transportation down there, some mode for pedestrians along that route. We did get selected for that, and I signed the agreement and submitted it back to the state today. So we're excited to get that going. And the last but not least, and I do believe I put it on here, but maybe it slipped my mind. We applied for a grant through the VMRC to get rid of the old derelict boats that we have that are sunken and boating equipment. The one that comes to mind right off the bat is one everybody sees on the drawbridge, the old sailboat that's sunk there. Last Friday, I received word that our application was approved, so we will get the money to do that. We've already had a contractor price it, so it's a matter of when they send us the agreement, we'll sign the agreement, and we'll call the contractor and say, let's go. The projects that are in that are the sailboat at the drawbridge, the old outriggers in the marsh across from the Coast Guard dock, which were from a boat that burned there a few years ago. There's a boat down South Main Street on the water side of Main Street that we were pulling up, and there's a few smaller vessels in the creek behind the harbor. That all those, I think those are the 4 projects.
You had that one that's in the harbor, so?
Vernon took care of that today, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he took care of that today. I think that'll be.
That's a reoccurring nightmare.
Yeah.
Next few days, that problem should take care of itself. Looking at the trolley, Billy does a great job with the trolley. The name of the trolley project, which we put out to all the elementary school children, will be due on March 22nd. I believe Billy had 4 names. They're all names of famous ponies that we don't currently have currently named our trolleys after, and the students are voting on that. Once we get a choice, we'll put it before council and make sure that everyone agrees. I can't recall all the names, or I'd repeat them for you right now. In any event, trolley service will begin on May 3rd. Right now, Billy's preparing for the March 13th visit to Virginia Tourism Commission. He was successful in getting permission to use all 4 trolleys if necessary to transport the conferencees back and forth to the different events that Mary Esther scheduled for them. So that event is lining up to be a pretty big deal. And Billy's also proposed 3 new trolley stops for this season. They would be at Depot and Hibiscus, up at the turntable in Depot, Seaweed and Main Street, which is right there in front of Captain Bob's, and Ridge Road and at BB Ranch, I should say. That'll help support the museum. Sewer collection system, I got word just today from Davis, Bowen, and Friedel, and this is not, of course, of Chincoteague, but this is just a picture of the rover that everybody's seen the surveying crew use around town. But I got word from Davis, Bowen, and Friedel today that they are finished with field operations as far as surveying. They're reducing the data now. We'll have should have drawings in a few weeks as far as the surveying goes, and we'll start in earnest on the design. So that project's moving right along. Transient, as you can see, meals was up, transient was up slightly. For the month, they continue to beat the two-year average. We are basically at 100% right now on transient occupancy tax, and next month we should be at 100% on meals tax as well. So, and our financial report, again, everything's about where it should be with the anomalies we've previously identified. If anybody has any questions on that, we'll review that quickly. Building and zoning, 42 inspections and 11 case activity reports. Mark issued 28 building permits last month for a cost of construction of $1.1 million and the total building permit fees collected of $4,300. And that's about the end of my report. Of course, the permit fee report is on there if anybody has any questions. All public information. That's the end of my report. If anyone has any questions, I'll be glad to answer.
Do you have a comment?
Gene Wayne.
Thank you for adding us onto the 911 project. It was nicely county. I mean, we need to be tied in. You know what I mean? It's something that, and like I said, it's going to save us money. But thank you. That's you know. Tell them that when they apply for that grant, whoever applied for that grant, tell them thank you. Seriously, thank you for throwing Chincoteague in, because that will us be able to interface with each other. It's going to be important. Like I said, have each other's backs.
It's a big project.
Yeah, but tell whoever wrote that grant that thank you for thinking about Chincoteague.
Anybody else? Thank you, Mike.
Yes.
Next up, Mr. Greenlee.
All right, so on February 1st and 2nd, SRO Carmody and SRO Jim and Annie attended the active shooter class in Hampton, Virginia. That is an all hands-on class using sim rounds and scenario-based training. So it was very, very, very good for them. I went to it. It's a phenomenal training, so I knew I had to get them into it. And going forward, I'm going to get the day shift officers involved in that too. So I want to get everybody trained in it, honestly. On February 6th, myself and Dispatcher Lewis attended a meeting with Deputy 911 Director Krista Kilman for active shooter class for dispatchers. They're going to come here, I believe it's April the 24th, and they're going to have a training, and they'll set it all up for us, and they're going to run the dispatchers through scenarios and everything else. So I think that's going to be beneficial, especially, you know, going with the guys that are actually trained in the active shooter class. So all coming together. On February 12th through the 15th, PFC Stevens attended the FTO certification training class at the Academy over in Newport News. Very proud of Jeff. He does good work. He's going to train his first trainee when Cody Turlington gets out of the Academy. So looking forward to that. Jeff's going to do a good job. On February 27th, Investigator Barnes and SR Jim and Andy attended an intoxilizer recertification class in Virginia Beach. And that's all I have, but I do have a couple other things that aren't in your packet. All the vehicles are now operational, in use, and assigned to all personnel. So that's good news. Got both new vehicles back from Nottingham, and everything's functioning properly and everybody's using them. Just also wanted to throw out there that on February 21st, Cody and I put our advertisement for a police officer position on Indeed. And This has reached 4,349 people. 256 of those people have clicked on our posting. 45 people started an application, and 28 have applied. So that's those numbers are up big time. I also got the ad in the Eastern Shore Post. I'm gonna run that one more week next Friday. So I'm hoping that I think I'm gonna take the advertisement down March 21st, and then after that we'll start conducting some interviews in April, getting us geared up for summer. That's all I got.
Good job.
That's great.
Yeah.
Great. Any questions for Tyler?
Yeah, get everybody with the active shooter group, like I said, as you well know, if everybody thinks an officer needs anything, they come out of the woodwork. You don't know where, I mean, you don't think, but they're just there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's not a thing that, like I say, it's something where that, God forbid it happens. But if it did, whether they're sleeping, whether they're going, anybody that hears that call, they're out of their bed or out of their thing, they're on their
Right.
way.
Yeah.
That's where they're going. It's nobody's going to have to ask them to go. They're going to be there.
Oh, absolutely.
And so, like I said, make sure they get that. And I know
Yes,
it's,
sir.
like you said, it's definitely eye-opening and hello. But
Mm.
scary stuff.
Yeah, it is.
All righty. Thank you, Tyler.
Sir.
Next up is Public Works, Wes.
Good evening. The first one here is, it's kind of hard to get a picture of the water department's work because they cover all their work up when they're done.
You got to be faster.
Yeah, you got to be faster than them. So, but in addition to their daily activities, they did install 7 new services and had 3 leaks that were repaired and replaced. So a lot of times if we have a leak in a galvanized pipe, we'll put a repair clamp on it that night or that weekend or whatever the case may be, and then come back the next day and actually replace that line with a new service. And everybody knows we've been having a lot of rain, so we've been trying to use those rain days to catch up on maintenance and cleaning equipment and greasing equipment. And big shout out to our operators because they really take ownership in that and seem to really like keeping their stuff up to snuff. So. Another thing that we've done is we've built some shelving storage at Brianna's Park and also in the center. That's a picture over the center of what used to be the boiler room. The boiler was in the center in the back, and then there were all kind of pipes associated with the chiller on the left. So we've got that room all cleaned out and gained some storage room over there. And the next picture was over at Brianna's, just showing you what we built in the chase there in the bathroom. Keep everything up off the floor. We had several trees down in the unpaved nature trail, so that was just one of the things that we've been trying to keep up with and keep everything cleared out. Put up some new windscreen at the tennis courts, and then I just noticed tonight in the picture of the tennis courts, you can scroll down just a little bit there, Mike. We had a TV quit on us. Sorry, I'll look to the right. But you can see that crack there. So that's going to be added to the plan for next month. Matter of fact, Gene Wayne and I were looking this morning at the tennis courts, and there's a whole lot of cracks that have appeared in the recent history. So we're going to get on them and repair them. Hopefully, I'm going to get out a bid package for the spring paving. We have finished all the finger piers at the harbor, and we've done all of them at Robert Reed Park except for one. And y'all can guess which one that is. And we're going to continue on the routine maintenance of our equipment and vehicles, and that's about it for me. If y'all got any questions.
Go ahead.
So we had talked about previously, I can't remember, workshop or last month or anything about the ditch issue, about getting the pipes actually cleaned out that are underneath the driveways and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you know me, I ride around, I see stuff. But Misty Meadows, Rosedale Division, Sunnywood, Highland Park, and all that. Is that on your list of?
It is most it's. I may not have put it on here, but it's on a list that I have on a wall back in the shop. And with rain events like we had this
Right.
weekend, we had to go to immediate needs today, and that's what we concentrated on. But that is definitely in the near future, is cleaning out driveway
Good.
pipes.
I just want to make sure it don't get lost.
Nope,
And,
not
and
at all.
The other question I have, I know we've talked about this I know a lot last year and everything, and I see with the paving getting ready to come in on Willow Street, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Line painting on the sidewalks, gonna get that done
Yeah,
with that?
the paint, we've got the paint in. I need to have consistent temperatures of 50 and above,
Mhm.
and then we need to pressure wash and then paint in order for it to last.
Okay, that's
So-
on your list of,
It is most definitely on the
Okay.
list.
that's all I have. Thank you, Wes.
Mhm.
Anybody else?
So
Anyway,
so
sorry.
Willow Street is getting a new water line also?
No.
Mm-mm. Willow Street's done with the water.
Okay, they got
That's
water
why
line.
that's why we're having to repave it.
Yeah,
Because
we've
it had
done
a lot
all
of
the
work done to it.
connections to Willow
Yeah.
Street and really messed
Is it,
Willow
does it
Street.
have a new water line, or does it still got some of the concrete, I call it concrete pipe, Mike?
The asbestos water line.
Yeah, there you go. That's why I was trying to avoid that word, but yeah,
I
that's,
think, yeah. 'cause
is it still there? Is because like, there is no asbestos on
I
Willow
will,
Street?
I will double check for you.
And
but
there's
I-
a reason for that. 'Cause when we're
Okay.
paving it, we're condemning it to another 20 years of it. And you understand what I'm saying? Like I say, we have been replacing as we're going through. I would rather, you know what I'm saying? That, because like I say, that the pipe is supposed to last 50 years and it's already that old. And you've changed them, that the pipe is actually soft. You've seen that with your, you know what I mean? We don't need to condemn that roadway with that pipe underneath it for another, because you don't want to be tearing it out to replace the kind of new road that to replace it. I just think it's, anytime we do a road, I think we should replace those lines. Yeah, the other question is too, I know, we're talking about driveways, and some of them are not adjusted up right height, like somebody rides a bicycle, they can flip themselves and stuff, and even our church has one like that. There's concrete grinders, I know that they're to the high school, a couple of weeks ago, somebody tripped and fell, and like Mike knows, they have a concrete grinder that grind, they've already done that at the school. Can we purchase a concrete grinder that would just grind the dead ends, they have to replace the whole things, you know what I'm saying?
I'd have to look into it to see how much we would utilize the machine versus coming up with a project to have it done. I know there's a concrete company called Swank out of Norfolk that specializes in that.
That grinding.
Yeah, they don't pour concrete, but they specialize in the behind the scenes stuff.
Hey, Mike, I know you know the county's got one. Did you have any idea what they cost?
The school system doesn't have one, but you can do it with a hand grinder too. It's just a little bit more finesse.
But they have a bigger grinder. I know you had to notice that you were in school the other day. They grind that place where that lady got hurt the other day.
Right. But to be honest with you, some of these are more easily done with a hand grinder, 8-inch grinder, than they are with a
Okay.
machine.
All right. Thank you, Wes.
Any further questions? Thank you, Wes.
Thank you.
All right, Brian.
Right, since the time of your, we had a few more calls, 11 more than February of 23. Of course, we had an extra day to play with this year, but I don't think 11 came out of just one day. But February was a pretty busy month for us overall compared to prior years. Before I go on to the emergency management side of it, just want to touch base real quick. The new ambulance that we keep talking about that, is real, we got pictures of, actually touched it. It arrived in Yorktown with a bad airbag. So we've got about a 10-day wait to receive an airbag and then to get it replaced. So, by the time all the rain stops, maybe we'll see a new ambulance. Just putting that out there. Our new hires will start this coming Sunday, and each one of them will be assigned to the first 4 shifts of the week. So we did get that hiring process up and going, and got 4 good candidates that will be coming on board with us starting this upcoming week. So that's a good thing. Moving on then to emergency management. Of course, we're going to continue weather monitoring, and the big story is just rain, and more rain. So be careful, what you ask for in summertime when
You know, everybody hollers drought, 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 because this is what you get.
Skeeter, skeeter,
Um,
skeeter.
That's right.
Rocket Lab has got a launch scheduled for March 20th. Bad news is for those Rocket fans, it's going to be about 2 o'clock in the morning, give or take. So, you know, if you want to make a late night of it, go for it. There's an APEP launch, which is 3 sounding rockets that will coincide with the solar eclipse on April 8th, if it's not raining that day. And then we're also participating in a regional exercise work group with Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware. Maryland received a grant to do an evacuation exercise, and we're working to get that up and running and actually have that exercise by September of 25. This week in Virginia is Severe Weather Week, so again, it's a good time to know what severe weather impacts us here in our neck of the woods, because in every area of Virginia, it can be a little different. And now would be the time to prepare. I say it all the time, but you know, when the sun's shining or you've got a light shower outside, it's a good time to get your disaster kits ready, to get your supplies ready, because what's going to happen is it's going to hit, and then you're not going to be prepared. And again, you need to be prepared. And 5 days of preparation. You see it on the news all the time. Oh, FEMA's coming. They're going to come eventually. But I'm telling you, you need to be ready to stand alone for 5 days. There will be a statewide tornado drill this Thursday, March 7th at 9:45. So if you have a weather radio, which you should, it will activate for the tornado drill. But it's also a good time, just like you should try to figure out what an emergency exit would be in your home if your home catches on fire. You should also know where would you go in the event that a tornado did come through Chincoteague. So in summary, EMS calls are above February 23. The new ambulance, we were planning on having it this week and in service by mid-March, but I wouldn't hold your breath on that one. New hires, again, will be on board starting this coming Sunday, and then there's a busy launch schedule coming up over the next few months. I'll entertain any questions.
Thank you.
One, Brian. Have
Yes,
you,
sir.
Have you heard any tidal forecast for this storm?
No, just normal tidal forecast. I haven't seen anything, maybe 3.6, 3.7, which is, if you look at the tide gauge, is preparation. But we don't start seeing 3.9, 4. So when you start seeing water on east side, water in the park, which has been a common thing, we're kind of falling into that right time of the tide cycle. We're leaving the full moon, and we're, halfway up to the new. Well, we're not even really halfway to the new moon. So we're at a perfect time to have onshore flow. But
Right. I know that's what it was today. It was blowing a northeastern. I was just waiting for it. And you were talking about this work group with Maryland and Delaware. In the past, when we worked with Virginia, they were, I got the feeling that they were under the illusion that we all go across the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel and evacuate that way.
No.
Because if you remember, the governor at that time made us evacuate, and it was beautiful over here. And, across the bay, yes, they had to evacuate to the west. But I'm still wondering if the state of Virginia knows that we go north.
So in a lot of discussions that have been ongoing here recently with this evacuation and so forth, in your report, I mentioned in there about the D-zone evacuation. So that was one thing that came to light in my mind that's skewing the numbers. So if we do an evacuation here on Chincoteague middle of August, numbers are going to be huge. It's going to take time. The whole shore. The whole shore will go north from the Cape Charles area, the bridge tunnel. This side of the bridge tunnel goes north. State of Virginia knows that. So that's why they've gotten on board for participating in this exercise. So the work group that's being developed, Maryland, their key people in decided, we're going to do this quick exercise, blah, 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 and they obviously didn't have an idea of what was going on. So we've taken the Delmarva Task Force, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, here on the Delmarva. We've gotten together, and then we've gotten core people out of that group. I guess I missed a meeting that day and got volunteered, but anyway, I'm representing Virginia on that group. So we're trying to come up with a really good numbers-based system for evacuations. If you remember, which I'm sure you do, Florence, when we were told that we had to evacuate. Chincoteague in September, hours, we could do a complete evacuation. August is a little different. But when you start adding in all the other areas of the shore that have to go through the choke points, whether going north through Wilmington or across the Chesapeake Bay Bridge there on 50, those numbers are critical. 1,000, can add an extra 2-3 hours. So we're trying to get that narrowed down to be more realistic. So majority of the time, D-zone will not evacuate. Usually, probably never would evacuate, simply because we don't evacuate for wind, we evacuate for water. So yes, Virginia is aware that all evacuations from the Eastern Shore go north. Maryland is now aware of it. Delaware, of course, is aware of it as well. So,
All right, thank you much. Appreciate it. All right, I'll entertain a motion to the minutes from our regular council meeting from February and our council workshop meetings on the 15th.
Motion.
Second. Motion is second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is a report from the Island Library. Bryce?
I forgot the committee report.
Not on here.
Yay. Public Works budget and
And that was the one from today. Sorry.
Which one?
What were you missing?
Take on Horton.
Works and budget.
The committee report. Well, it's on there. It's not on mine. Oh well. We'll get it. Go ahead, Bryce. We'll get it.
You have my PowerPoint? I got you.
That's a great picture.
Did you get, Brian, can
Yeah,
you
the
give
thing.
him that?
and it's on, so you're ready to go.
Mm-hmm. That's perfect.
Forward and backward? Okay. Thank you. I am here again to offer thanks from the library to you and the town of Chincoteague for its support in our efforts over the years. I will be brief. Usual, I think that the main thing we want everybody to understand is that we try very hard to become the hub of the community wheel. We work with a variety of organizations here on the island and are involved in a variety of programs. Some of those organizations include CHOW, obviously. We do a lot with the theater. We have partnerships with the Downtown Historic Merchants Association. We're involved in a number of the things that they do, including Death by Chocolate, Search for the Shamrocks.
Mike.
Come on. What's the matter with it? There we go, yeah. The Main Street Trick or Treating. Yeah, it's just me, isn't it? The annual tree lighting ceremony. We also work with other island organizations to do a variety of things.
You want me, Bryce, you want me to advance?
Yeah, perhaps that might be the best. It looks like it's. We once again served as a reviewing stand for the Christmas parade. The judges tallied the results in the library. I have the next one. And this year we also participated in the Museum of Chincoteague Island's Christmas Tree Village. Small print. We came in fifth. I also want to say a little bit about our Tales for Tots. This is very quickly becoming sort of our signature thing. We have a lot of luck with this, and we have a lot of participants. Every month now, we're getting between 35 and 40 people with kids and parents and grandparents that bring them. One of the things that we did this year is we actually have an opportunity to, there are books that allow us to do a Let's Meet program where we allow the kids to meet important members of our community. May see some familiar faces here. One of the things we did a Let's Meet with was let's meet a police officer. The kids got to hear about what it means to be a police officer and see the vehicles, things like that. Another one that we did was meet a firefighter. They got to go into the station and see the fire engines and things like that as well. They also got to meet a school bus driver and be on the school bus, which I understand they actually really love this. It was a lot of fun. They got those kids looking forward to riding on school buses now. We also got them to be able to meet a postman, letter carrier. Okay.
And we also got them the opportunity to meet some musicians in the area. We did actually 2 programs that focused on music. If you look at the image there to the left of me with that little girl, I had a soprano ukulele, a baritone ukulele, and a guitar at that program. And this little girl just walked up like this, looking at the instrument. And so when the program was over, I said, "Here you go, you can play this one." And she really enjoyed that. We are also involved. Go on to the next slide. Priest, hit it again, because I had some things that, I had some funny things in here. Preschool at the library, which is something that we do with the Chincoteague Island Elementary School. We also have adult programs, including book clubs. And we also have author nights. We had Susan Friedland talking about her book, Marguerite, Misty, and Me. Michelle Drager on her book, Being Unleashed, Wisdom for Fetching Joy. And Philip Martin and Tashi, and Tales from Tibet was a very popular thing to do. We also hold our own fundraising events. Our basket raffle this year was done again. These things have been a tremendous success for you. Looking to raise money, do basket raffles. They seem to be very, very popular. We always do an adult basket and a kid's basket as well. Our annual Sunset Cruise was a chilly one this past year. We do that in June, and you think it's going to be a nice, pleasant, wonderful day. And no, this one was cold. Everybody was bundled up. But again, it's never a bad day on the water, is it? Also, we have merchandise sales, and this is a list that's going to pop up. These are just all sorts of things that we sell in the library in an effort to make a little bit of money for the library. The puzzles have been huge this year, and we've been doing a lot with that. We also get a lot of money from our newsletter. We send out a newsletter every single year. That goes out to about 2,500 folks in an effort to get those donations. And we also have private donations from various folks here on the island and institutions, organizations here on the island. So again, as I told you last year, we are much more than a book lending institution. Again, this is going to be a list. A focal point for our community events, a place for kids to come and learn, a place for adults to come and learn, a place for island visitors to come for information about the island, a place for other island institutions to partner with, a place for fostering reading and literacy, and a place that improves the lives of those that live in our community and those that visit. Well, one of the things that we've done this year that I think is going to be special is we've worked to make the computers. Lots of people come to the libraries to use computers. That's actually a pretty big deal, and we've worked hard to make that a little bit easier this year. It's not quite as big a process as it once was. So again, as we go on to the last slide here, we want to say thank you for your support, and we hope that we can continue. We hope that we continue to be the of our community reel. So thank you all again for all that you do for us. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I need to apologize, folks. It was on my screen, but it glazed over, I guess, after looking at staff reports. So we'll go back to committee reports. First on the list is Brooks.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Public Works Committee met February the 6th. We did discuss about the spring paving, and that is supposed to happen soon, I hope, when it warms up. And it will be from the end of Willow Street and Church to White Street. I mean, not White Street, it's Burton Avenue, where the road was cut in at Monk Street, cut in at Street to patch that, and I believe in front of the water tower. Mm-hmm. That's getting bad. It's that dip, so that will be done. And we're looking at over on Piney Island, East Side Road to Wilson Lane, the storm drains there. And also, we'll be doing pavement markings. And also, there was an update on some Ocean Breeze roadways. And I do believe, Mr. Tarbert, you have here that we have submitted to VDOT for Seaweed Drive to be included in our,
Yes, ma'am, we've resubmitted a few roads. As you know, I think we've discussed before, VDOT has taken 4 of the 10 roads there. We've paved, we, meaning the town of Shindig, have paved Ridge Road all the way through.
right?
So we've submitted, was it one more, Wes? One more to try to get him to take it into the system. Once VDOT accepts the road, then we can, are legal to use VDOT urban maintenance grant funds to maintain that road.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Sure, go ahead, Denise.
So the ones that VDOT will not take in.
Yet,
Yet.
Yeah.
we're still working on it.
All right. All right. So in the meantime, while we wait for them to take it in, whether it takes a year, 2, 3, whatever, how are we going to maintain those roads?
Currently, we're maintaining the roads that are unimproved. By unimproved, I mean not hard surface, by scraping them and grading them as best we can. We add material when we have to and try to use the material in this area when we can. The plan was, I think, as you know, was never to go and plop a big bunch of money down and pave the whole development. We can't do that and still maintain the other roads that are on there, letting them go for a few years, and that wouldn't be advisable. So our plan in the office was always to try to work those in as we received approval from VDOT and as we get enough money or have, once they're in proper rotation for priority with the rest of the roads on the island. But they have to be worked in with everything else as well.
Right.
So we always anticipated being able to do one every now and then and improve it completely.
But while we're waiting in between time, we could put whatever down.
We're trying our best to grade what's there and putting material in when we have to. And I'll say, I mean, Public Works, we can't be down there every day or even weekly. And after a torrential rain like this, they take a beating. I was in Ocean Breeze yesterday. Yes, yesterday. And we need to do some work there. But they are much better than the way they were maintained before.
Oh, yeah.
Are they perfect? No, not in any stretch of the imagination, but much better than what was being done there before.
No, I certainly don't expect perfection. I just expect it to, be
Not drop.
right, not dropped.
Exactly.
There
No,
you go.
We can, and then believe me,
Yeah.
the folks down there, Wes and I talked to the folks down there, it seems like regularly, they are not shy about letting us know when they need some
Oh, yeah.
assistance.
Thank you.
Anything else for Public Works? Thank you, Ms. Elder. Next up is Budget and Personnel. Vice Mayor.
Yeah, I don't have anything else other than what's located in your packet.
Any questions? All righty, thank you. All right, now we can move on. What we're up to now is considering that letter of support for Route 175. Is there any discussion on it?
The only thing I'd like to see is that we maybe add a little blurb in there that while we're in support, we would like to have our causeway look as well as soon as possible.
Something like this is a good first step.
Fine, yeah.
I can add a phrase like that.
Mm-hmm.
It desperately needs shoulders. There's no way around it.
Right.
And we got shoulders from Royal Farms to thing. I rode it bicycle many times, you know what I mean? But boy, when you get on the causeway,
As soon as you get somebody's
just
turn,
need,
that's
you,
it.
you just need shoulders.
Don't
You
show
just need
the
shoulders.
bridges.
Does Route 175 not include the causeway?
No, it does.
No.
The
Well-
project, you mean? Are you
I
talking
mean,
about?
Route 175 in general is a causeway, not Route 175.
It is 175 all the way to the foot of the bridge.
But VDOT has
Get that.
excluded it in their scope of work. They said 175 work from T's Corner to Rural Farms. That's what they've established.
To the Atlantic Road.
Established that, yeah,
And
already.
that project, by the way, I think now the road base is about 24 feet. That project would expand that to 2 shoulders and a center lane. It would expand it to about 54 feet from US 13 all the way to Atlantic Road.
Isn't the roadway still run, isn't there still a Commonwealth Transportation Board of, am I right on this?
In Richmond it is.
Right, but the board members are composed of regional board members,
Correct.
right? That are not employees of,
That's my understanding, yes.
right. Have we looked into really pressuring our representative on the Commonwealth Transportation Board?
Not from the time we have it, no, sir.
Maybe we need to.
Has the county done anything to that effect, do you know?
The counties, in discussing this with Mike Mason, I believe the county they went to work because they've applied for this a few times already and been turned down. They went to work and really got into detail with asking what Billy Joe was saying. What's the problem with our application? It looks like a great application. And if you look at the scoring, and you go on the public side of the Smart Scale portal and look and see exactly how the project was scored. Each individual category it gets a certain score, and apparently the county was told you need more letters of community support. And Mike called me directly and asked for that, and that's why it's in your agenda. That's one of the areas where they didn't score as high as they could have.
You need to do something. I just remember a number of months ago we saw Gary Pinkston here. Of course, Gary's left us now, and but every time we talk about that, I remember back Gary Pinkston and saying, "Hey, we need to do something." And I think we agreed with it, but it's not happening too quickly, or not quickly enough.
All right. So we need a motion, Mike?
Yes,
Or-
sir, and if there's two things here to approve. One is a resolution, one is a letter. If you would like, I can, if you want to trust me to do that, I can add a couple of sentences about a good first start, and we need to keep the project, continue the project past Atlantic Road or something to that effect, if you'll approve the letter in general.
I make a motion we approve.
I'll second. Motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank y'all. All right, so do we need to read this into the minutes, Mike, or not? I mean, it's in the minutes now, but
It'll be in the minutes regardless.
okay, yeah. And you also need a motion on the resolution?
Yes, sir.
So move.
Second. Motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank y'all. All right.
That's our first step.
Yeah, first of many.
And if it's over, we'll ask them, okay, what else got to be done?
That's right.
You too.
Good night.
All right, next up is we've been talking about this for a while, the community support policy. Talbot?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, and at a few meetings previously, members have mentioned having a policy regarding donations to community events and organizations. So I took some time to develop one. It's put here for your comment and review, and if you see fit to approve it, or we can incorporate any comments or suggestions or changes, or we can go back to the drawing board, whatever the council prefers.
Council?
I think it looks good.
I've read through it. I think it looks good. I think
Yeah, me too.
it gets everything in there that we need to do. I think it's very important, though, and I don't know if I read that part in there or not, that it's a limited amount of funds, and it's basically a first come, first served basis, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Well, yes, and I stress that the council can and should, during budget deliberations, approve an amount associated with this policy on an annual basis. This year you may approve one amount, next year you may feel like you can approve more, following year you may feel like you can approve less, depending on how your budget is laid out and how your budget's going.
Yeah, there it is.
And also, I think in my review and my study of this subject, it appears to be a good suggestion to not, once you appropriate funds, is not commit all those funds immediately in case someone comes during the year and you want to award a donation or some support later in the year. You don't award that all up front in budget. Leave yourself a little reserve.
So does the date, that's the only thing I noticed on here, you got December 31st, is that the date you're comfortable with respect to our budgetary process?
There's some room in that. I'd like to have it as I start to prepare the budget, and I usually start over Christmas. Well, we start in October, but I do a lot of the work over Christmas, so that seemed like a good date, but we can certainly make some adjustments to that.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine, if that works for you in the budgetary process.
Works very good for me.
Any further questions of Mike? All right, council's asked to vote to approve the policy guidelines and the application form.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right. So, now we're on the council comments. Ms. Ellen, start with you this time.
No, thanks.
Denise?
Thank you, staff, for answering my questions, and thank you all for coming out on this nasty night. I can say this now, Billy, football's over, go Yankees.
Little basketball going on.
Might be for somebody. Oh, I did have one more thing. One more thing. And y'all have seen it on Facebook, you've seen it on the radio, you saw it on the sign across the street. We had one of our very homegrown young ladies, Shingatig girls, has been #1 in the whole United States as far as college softball hits, and that's Emma Jackson.
Yeah, for East Carolina University.
Yeah, for East Carolina is where she plays.
What?
And
And doubles.
and doubles. And I was reading her dad's report yesterday, and she's still on fire. I think she went 4 for 4 yesterday, and then today he said she also made the some kind of, I don't know if they call it a dean's list down there, but he said honor roll. But she is on fire, and it is wonderful to watch her. I even bought ESPN Plus just so I could watch her play. Amazing. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Emma Jackson. You're doing fantastic, and we all support you in this. That was all I had. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor?
Nothing, thank you.
I'm good. Billy? Gene?
When we're talking about community organizations, we definitely, like I said, a lot of things that we would like to do ourselves as a town. We're just not big enough to do all the things. And I know a lot of times we give them 5,000 here. That's just really it's just show us support for them. You know what I'm saying? But we need to do that. We definitely need to do that to let them know that they've got our backs. You know what I mean? It's not us having their backs. They come here and thank us, but they got our backs. You know what I mean? To make the town what it is and stuff. And we just appreciate all y'all for make the town what it is. And it's like you say, what little we give to you is really a token thank you. It's not. It don't pay your bills or anything else, but we do appreciate you. I promise you. Everybody that puts time and effort into, and there's so many people that do it. It does not go overlooked. I promise you. Because our town without people that ever just love our town and put their time and effort and their money, not just their time and effort, but their money into it too. We appreciate it.
Jay?
I'm agreeing with Gene. You know, community organizations, they help us tremendously. The volunteers who go out of their way help us immensely. Just appreciate Officer Greenlee and the work that they're doing, and seeing a lot of good things happening in that department right now. And just keep on keeping on the town itself, and keep on doing what you're doing.
Thank you, Jay. Time's flying. Before you know it, it'll be pony pinning.
Bite your tongue.
Start planning. do your stuff now, because for too long it's going to be snowballing on us. All right. I will entertain a motion to go into closed session in accordance with 2.2-3711A13 Code of Virginia to discuss the appointment and assignment of specific personnel and the acquisition of real estate.
Motion. Second.
Motion second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Thank y'all.